Streaming start. Oh, so I just got a message from them, so I'll tell them, I've just got some messages from Australia, so I'll say they can log on now. Yeah. Thank you. Are you ready that I can push the flowers back to this?
Oh, yes, of course.
Okay. Oh, the video's gone. What do I do?
Oh, I think it's just about to begin. If you press spacebar there,
it'll come up?
it should start. Yes. Yeah, there we go.
So we can just... There you go.
Yeah,
Now we're
exactly.
not going to touch it. Alright. Alright.
And for volume, is that okay? Or do you want it a bit
I think
louder?
that's nice. Yeah.
That's good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want it to be too loud. Are we on camera right now? Where is it playing to? Where is it directed to right now? Oh, yes. Oh, that's nice. Hey, oh, lovely. Can they hear me? Hello, everyone. Oh, wow. We're just gathering, and we'll be with you momentarily. Oh, I'm going to be standing over that. No, I don't want to be on prematurely. Come on in, you guys. Probably the easiest way to get in is through here.
Okay, cool. Oh my.
Up close and intimate. Awesome.
Oh, that's a pretty arrangement.
I love that picture. I know.
I was trying to remember how long we lived next door to them, but I think it was
Wasn't that long?
about 4 years, I thought. No, longer. It was most of my time at Cliff Drive. Grade 3 to 7, grade 3 to 6, something like that.
I was in kindergarten and grade 1 until I went to South Park.
Oh,
No, I did kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2.
okay.
It was 3
At
years.
Cliff Drive, so
It
yeah,
was
must
3
have been
years.
3 years.
Yeah.
wants to go first, you or you? Let's settle that now before we start.
Well, they're doing
Ted?
she or
Sure.
No, it's your choice.
I don't really care.
Okay.
I guess I'll go after him.
Do you mind going first, Ted?
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right.
Oh, and Charlie. Get some shoes on.
Go on, help yourself. I'll move one of these
Shoes
for you.
are not required. Oh, yeah, everyone, you can come in this way too. It's a little bit cramped.
Is it purple Toyota still in
Oh, Talia, I'm gonna have that seat, because there are gonna be a couple times that I'll make that my seat. Can't believe we have a back row soon. Like, we have got this many people that we have a back row. Are we missing anyone? Paul? Where's Paul?
Right here.
All right, okay, perfect.
There's some seats here.
Paul,
You guys
where's
gonna
Paul?
stand? Okay.
Grab a seat.
You're on sit.
Yeah.
What's that?
Elia?
She's right here.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Hi.
Don't be shy, guys. We're a very small group. Come have a seat.
Yeah.
Are we one short? How many short are we? We'll go the back row there. Okay. Let me get one more.
No, no, I'll get it.
There's another car that there's this.
Ted, that's not.
Charging traffic and.
So Kelly, you've been busy, have you?
Yeah, I have.
Good for you.
There's no
You
room
got over our day at the zoo?
this Saturday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you guys are standing or sitting.
Yeah.
Oh, 3 rows.
Oh,
Wow.
there's something like that.
I didn't bring Ella Rose, she didn't come.
Okay.
The
A lot more people than I expected here.
Well, I came at
11.
It's just a
I
good
came
little
at
size,
10
isn't
to
it?
drive and I remember, like I said, the those big houses along the north, we have to all redevelop because it's live streamed in Australia. So if we start early, then we just, okay.
Do you guys just prefer to stand?
So what time is it there?
It's 9 a.m. now.
9 a.m.
Yes.
And there'll be a lot of, more people probably,
9 a.m. Sunday morning, yes.
more people will be logging in to watch virtually.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just checking to make sure I've got no more messages about it.
Oh, do you have your cell phone on you? Because you're the contact for anyone who doesn't.
Don't start until
The live stream starts. Right,
Live
can't
stream
start early.
started, it's
Oh,
going.
is it?
I'm on camera.
Hi.
Talia, sit. Oh my God.
We'll just wait for that. It's so weird to have people in here.
In the potty shed, yeah.
Yeah.
Just with the
I
cell
don't,
phone.
did, have you seen, did you see the inside of it, Ricky? I mean,
Yeah,
it was,
I know it.
yeah.
Pretty bad. You guys have done
This is
an amazing
Susan,
job.
this is Susan's work.
Yeah, it looks lovely.
And Ted's, don't forget
Everyone.
Ted.
And Ted's.
And I did, not that, but I did plenty of floral pieces. Floral, I don't know.
Arrangements.
Arrangements, good.
It's flower pieces.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you for coming. Whether you're in person or online, I'm really glad you're here. You are each very special to Mom in your own way. I'm going to go through what's going to happen so you know that you're not going to be sitting here forever. Susan, after I'm done, Susan's going to come read a poem that Mom wrote about growing up on her father's farm. And then there will be, I will come say some words. And I didn't have a chance to edit my words, so it might be a little long. I apologize. And then there's going to be a 10-minute slideshow. Yeah, and I will warn you, there are a lot of pictures of my kids. But I think in Uma's mind, there could never be too many pictures of these two. And then I will read out some of the words that have been sent to me by friends and family. And then I will invite anyone here to come share what they'd like to share. And then we'll say goodbye to our live stream, and we will all venture over to plant an Uma tree provided by Mom's lovely gardeners, Wade and Maureen. Thanks, you guys. Okay, Susan.
Wait, should you specify that we called her Uma? Just so everyone knows.
Didn't I already say that?
No, you didn't.
Oh, it's in my spiel. You'll hear it. Just, you're jumping the gun.
Thought when you said Uma tree. Mom! We saved a seat for you here.
Sorry, okay. Let's be very close.
So this is called Down on My Father's Farm. Pour the cow's milk in at the top,
turn the handle round and round. Steady now, Joey, keep the rate steady. The cream, it comes out here, and skim milk comes out there. Just keep turning round and round, and we'll all have cream on our porridge this morning. Round and round and round and round. And here she comes, ladies and gentlemen, rounding the final bend at a sizzling rate. A new world record for this young girl who learnt to run across the fields down on her father's farm. His rough hand closed over mine. Steady, Joey. I said to keep a steady rate. It's not a flamin' race, you know. He looked down at the 2 yellow puddles in the bottom of the bowl. I guess we'll just have milk on our porridge this morning. Don't cry, Joey. You can try again tonight. Round and round and round and round. What grace! What form! Her slow movements perfectly reflect the mood of the music, and her dress is quite exquisite. I hear she made it herself in a little back room, down on her father's farm. His rough hand closed over mine. Too slow, Joey, too slow. You got to learn to concentrate. He looked down at the milky liquid overflowing the bowl. Can't put that on our pudding. Try again in the morning. Round and round, concentrate, concentrate. Beads of perspiration have formed on her brow as the audience in this magnificent hall sits silently, waiting for the next move by this young challenger who taught herself chess out in the barn down on her father's farm. His rough hand closed over mine. You have to turn the handle, Joey. You can't just sit there. He looked down at the empty bowl. Porridge been ready for half an hour. I guess we'll get some cream by noon. Round and round, steady, steady. Steady as she goes, mates. Hold it steady, she's nearly got him. Saved his life, she has, jumping into the sea like that. I hear she learnt to swim in the river down on her father's farm. His rough hand closed over mine. Good job, Joey. You can stop turning now. Bring the cream and we'll all have some on our scones. I looked down at the bowl, filled with rich yellow cream. A dream come true, in the dairy, down on my father's farm.
Excellent. All right, let's see how I do here. Shortly before she passed, Mom told me she felt she had had a lucky life. I was surprised because in my mind she had suffered the greatest loss imaginable, the loss of a child, my brother Sean. But poring through photo albums these past few weeks, I've been reminded of the richness of her life and how far she traveled, not just in miles, but as a person. Mom grew up on an apple orchard in Tasmania, the youngest of 6 beloved brothers and sisters, Bill, Ben, Keith, Colleen, and Mary. She described a carefree childhood, romping through the orchard, swimming in the Franklin River, and giggling late at night with her 2 older sisters with whom she shared a bed. She was educated by nuns in a 2-room schoolhouse where she discovered her love of learning. She memorized all the countries and capitals of the African continent, not knowing that one day she would visit some of those places herself. Then, let's see. When it came time to high school, she left the very small town of Franklin and went to the, quote, big city, Hobart. After high school, she graduated from nursing school. With her nursing degree in hand, she traveled to Sydney, where she trained in midwifery and made lifelong nursing friends, a couple of whom are joining us virtually today. Hello, Pauline and Judy. Then Mom made the first of 3 gutsy moves. She boarded a ship bound for Canada. For 3 months, she nursed on a reservation on Vancouver Island. After that, she and 2 of her nursing buddies took off on an epic road trip around America, camping all the way. This impressed the heck out of me as a child and still impresses me today. Mom worked her way back to Vancouver, where at a bar on the night of the Grey Cub Victory Parade, she met my dad. They soon married. This was, as most of you know, a mixed blessing. She always maintained that she was glad to have met my father because without him, there would be no Sean or I. My brother Sean was born in 1970 and I came along in 1972. By then, our family had settled in Tawasin on a quiet cul-de-sac. That is where Mom met her best friend of 50 some odd years, Ricky, who I'm so glad is here today and was with me at the time of Mom's passing. Thank you, Ricky. Our family was fortunate to make many visits to Mom's homeland, Tasmania, where I got to know my extended Tassie family. When we arrived at the Hobart airport, there would be upward of 30 people there to greet us. Sadly, all of Mom's siblings have passed, but their children, their grandchildren, and even a couple of great-grandchildren are joining us virtually today. Hello, Tasmania. One of them is even here in person. Susan, I can't thank you enough for being here. As Ted said, without you, the house would have burned down, figuratively and perhaps literally. Through you, I feel the love of your mom, Mary, and the love of all the Brennan family. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. When Sean and I reached our teenage years, Mom made her second gutsy move. She enrolled as an undergraduate at the University of British Columbia, where she eventually earned her degree in English literature. At university, she learned many interesting things. That the word gay doesn't just mean happy, that college students aren't any smarter than her, and that women do not have to be subjugated to men. I vaguely remember her picking me up from school one day and rambling on about Ibsen's play, The Dollhouse, the story of an oppressed housewife. I had no idea what she had awakened to and what it meant for our future. New tissue. Unfortunately, this time of self-discovery was cut short by my brother's sudden death in a car accident in 1987. Now that I have 2 kids of my own, I can imagine Mom's heartbreak and devastation. Mom broke for a while, but over time, she pieced herself back together. In her third gutsy move, she left an unhealthy marriage and moved from a 13,000 square foot mansion to a 2-bedroom apartment furnished with IKEA. It was 2 bedrooms because she promised me that no matter what happened, she would always have a place for me to come home to. She more than kept that promise, making a home not just for me, but for my family. After her separation, Mom underwent a renaissance. She traveled, she created, she hosted women's parties where she gave out vibrators as party favors.
Took a while for me to get that story out of her.
She learned to golf, and a group of friends who referred to themselves as the Foggy Virgins met regularly to golf. There are 2 Foggy Virgin husbands here, Gary and Alan, although how you can be a virgin husband is a mystery to me. She became a radio host and had her own show called Romantic Memories and another showcasing musicals. She made many friends at the radio station, including her friend Hamida, who woke up at 2 a.m. this morning, Tanzania time, to log on. Hello, Hamida and family. She went on an archaeological dig in Israel, where she met her friend Jane, who is also joining us. Hello and thank you, Jane. Mom traveled to Ireland to research her family history and proceeded to write a 4-volume family history beginning with continental drift. When Mom did something, she did it big. She also designed and built her dream house where we are sitting now. Thank you, Brian, for helping to make her dream come true. In the midst of all this, I met and married my husband, Paul. He and Mom forged their own special relationship. For about 15 years, the 3 of us formed a very small but very close family, spending holidays together, traveling together, playing countless games of Boggle and Yahtzee. We adopted dogs, Lua and Allie, and whenever we visited her, which was often, we'd take our dogs to the beach and go out to our favorite brunch spots. This would have continued, except for the late in the game arrival of my own 2 children, Ted and Tom, now known as Talia. Mom was christened Uma. Because of her incessant smoking, she also got the nickname Smoky Boom Boom. Or her covert superhero name, Flaming Heart. It's impossible to put into words the joy I felt when I witnessed Uma loving her grandchildren and them loving her back so full-heartedly. All of Mom's best qualities, her boundless creativity, love of life, playfulness, and compassion, I see reflected in my own children. Ted and Talia, you were and still are the love of Uma's life. Everywhere Mom went, she created joy. Just take a look around her house, her garden, her art. This was her most courageous act of all, to embrace life in all its complexity and wonder, to transform pain into laughter, flowers, and beautiful memories. This is the hope she lived by, that love conquers all, even time and space, so that she is present with us even now. All the love she gave lives on in all of us. Only one of this slideshow.
Alright. Where's mine?
No, I'm the slideshow.
Oh, sorry.
He's the tech guy. Ted's the tech guy.
We hand around the Kleenex.
Ted, I think yours was forced.
Actually, I'm going to read the ones from people not here first, okay? All right.
Send them back this way, Jake.
All right. First up, we have Michael, my mom's nephew, brother to Susan. What do I share about this lucky lady I know as Auntie Joan at a time when we gather to celebrate her life as family and friends? What I share with you all comes from the heart, just as she gave from her heart. I have memories of Auntie Joan who spoke with this weird accent on Boxing Day at the gathering of the Brennan family and that long-distance phone call from Tasmania to Vancouver. Yes, Auntie Joan was geographically distant, but to her extended family way down there at the bottom of the world in Tasmania, but so close in her heart to us all. I have been blessed to have experienced some holidays with Auntie Joan and family within Australia and spending almost a year living in Vancouver, where many personal memories are with me forever. Traveling from Perth to Adelaide on the Indian Pacific train, we both sat up all night drinking cans of Emu bitter beer and getting off at all these weird little places the train stopped at on the way. Maybe we wandered a little far from the train at one of these spots and almost got left behind. We both ran and laughed as we just made it back. I think of the time in Vancouver when she found me crying one morning after my first ever girlfriend dumped me overnight and my heart was broken. Her remedy for me was taking me to the hairdressers and getting my hair permed. God, I remember that. I must have been vulnerable, as this was the one and only time I did this. I also remember going out for coffee with her thinking I was going to be in all sorts of trouble after she discovered how I smuggled Sean out of their house of a nighttime by climbing over a glass roof and going out on the town. She looked at me, smirked, and said, "Just don't get into too much trouble and don't get caught by the police." I, along with my wife, Elizabeth, will always be grateful to Auntie Joan for reaching out to us when we were in a very vulnerable personal situation, supporting us at our time of need, and showing so much love, kindness, and grace to us. I will forever be so grateful to her unconditional love, generosity, support, and outstretched arms to Mom, her sister Mary. Yes, I was angry at times with Auntie Joan when she took Mom away from Tassie to Vancouver for holidays when I needed my mom to be close to me. But she saw how much Mom needed a break and some sisterly love at her time of brokenness, despair, grieving, and heartbreak. Thank you, Michael, for letting me have a piece of her. Upon reflection, Auntie Joan has left a strong moral trait deep in my heart. That being love for family and love for others is to be shared. I pray that I can live this out in my own life by loving my family and others as she did to me. Auntie Joan, always remembered, always loved, never forgotten. Rest peacefully, and may your spirit now be entwined forever with the spirits of your brothers and sisters. Love, Michael. Thanks so much, Michael.
Yeah, go Michael.
Maybe we'll go visit him one day. This is from Hamida. She says, who's my mom's friend from the radio station. She says, before I left from Vancouver recently, I was looking at photos of us at AM 1040. We had dressed up for Halloween, and then because both of us had put so much effort, she made us walk around downtown Vancouver and show off our costumes. She was so much fun, no ego, always willing to put herself out there and take risks. I also remember her finishing her degree at UBC and how brave she was. She would talk about the students in her class and how she didn't know about how to use technology. I'd sit in her office and teach her to use her computer, and then eventually I taught her about the internet. And then after we both had left CCS, I used to go to her Kerrisdale apartment and give her lessons on how to use the internet. I really enjoyed her. Oh, and I remember she would eat chocolate but suck out the nuts and throw them away. So funny. I really miss her. Thank you, Hamida. This is short and sweet from her niece, Sally. We had a wonderful aunt, one who never really grew old. Her smile was made of sunshine and her heart was solid gold. We had a wonderful aunt, and that's the way it will be always. Thank you, Sally. Next I have a letter from Jane, who was my mom's friend from the archaeological dig. As you know, I met your mom Joan in Caesarea, Israel, as volunteers on an archaeological dig in June 1990. We weren't staying in the same cabin or allocated to the same trench, but I guess we gravitated to each other. The Caesarea Marittima dig was situated on a stunningly gorgeous setting overlooking a harbor on the Mediterranean Sea. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience that's hard to describe. Working on the dig during the week in 40-degree heat, and then our weekend side trips to historic places and other archaeological sites all over the Holy Land. I recall wishing I'd paid more attention to my Sunday school Bible stories, but Joan filled in a lot of the details for me. I do remember that, who the prophet was, the significance of a particular site, etc. At the end of a weekend off in Jerusalem, I dragged Joan and our friend Kristen for a walk up the Mount of Olives. I was a huge fan of Jesus Christ Superstar back in the day. I was intent on seeing the Garden of Gethsemane. At some point on that hot, blistering afternoon, we were offered a camel ride. According to my journal notes, we rode a camel, saw the view, laughed a lot, got ripped off for 40 shekels for the ride, then dragged our bodies home. I love this picture, and she sent a picture of them on a camel.
Let me see. I'll pass it
I'll
around.
pass it around in a sec. Joan and I kept in touch sporadically over the years and saw each other on 2 occasions when I was in Vancouver for business. That was a treat. Seeing Joan's beautiful, quote, so like Joan home. It's funny, we really didn't know each other very well, but through our letters and then emails, we learned about each other and shared a number of poignant experiences through our correspondence. Thanks for offering me the opportunity to revisit my incredible experience on the dig, which was made all the more memorable with your mom as a new friend. I'm so sorry for your loss and extend my sympathies to all her family and friends. She will be missed. On a side note, not a vacation has gone by in our family when someone doesn't say, quick, I'm double parked, show me the Mona Lisa. That was a Joanism. We'd laugh when we saw cliche tourists, not like us of course, powering through the historic sites, and she would say that. Made me laugh every time. With love and friendship, Jane Baird. Thanks, Jane. I think this is the last one. This is from another one of Mom's nieces, Mary Jane. I love this story. It was many years ago when I went to visit Auntie Joan, Uncle Barry, Sean, and Lynn for a 3-week trip while I was living in London. My beautiful and generous Auntie Joan, my godmother, looked after me so well, and with the children we had so much fun. One morning on our way to drop Sean and Lynn to school, we all saw a sticker on the back of a car. At first, no one wanted to say anything, but eventually after Sean commented, we all said we were looking at it. It read, "You're ugly and your mother dresses you funny." As you can imagine, this became a running joke for the rest of my trip. It was a year later, I got a present in the mail. Auntie Joan sent me this hat, and she included a picture of a hat that has, "You're ugly and your mother dresses you funny." I still treasure it. Auntie Joan had a beautiful quality of always making you feel special. A wonderful lady, full of laughter and fun. Thinking of you, Lynn, Paul, Ted, and Tom. Thanks, Mary Jane.
It's Talia.
We know. All right. So,
Ted was first.
well, I'd like to invite anyone who would like to share some words to come up. No certain order, no pressure, just if you want to do that.
So my memories of Auntie Joan are of magical letters and photos arriving from Canada throughout my childhood. She made things happen, buying mice to feed pet snakes, not worrying about a snake loose in the house while I was sleeping there. Even though I'm from Australia, that was not okay with me. Organising fun outings and trips, sitting with her and having great conversations. crossing borders without going through the correct process, and then worrying when we got back, exploring places where our ancestors came from, bringing her family regularly to Tasmania, and watching Lynn and Sean grow from small children to teenagers. Watching the love and pride she had for Lynn and her family, Paul, Ted and Talia. And for me, most of all, the love she shared with my mum, her sister Mary.
Would you like me to finish it?
No. And all the wonderful times they had together, and being there for each other when times were tough. Well, Tasmania is a long way away. Auntie Joan has always been a part of my life, and I'm very fortunate to have that continue with Lynn and her family. Thank you, Auntie Joan, for being the wonderful person you were.
Thank you, Susan.
Ted?
Want Ted to go?
I want Ted to go vote.
Ted, are you okay with that?
Yeah, sure. Alright, Chris. Alright, it's been a long trip for me, 14 years now, and one place that I knew I could always just have fun and play was her house and her backyard. So, this is my poem, My Grandma's House and Backyard. Red, blue, green, white, and yellow. Water splashes in the pond. It is so mellow. Sitting on the porch is so fond. All the animals she enamored right next to where she hammered. Sitting there was where she belonged. Gray hair, white nightgown. She rode through danger and doubt. She never walked around with a frown. She did not sit there and pout. Now Joan is gone, but she loved her house without a doubt. Thank you.
Mom, I'm only going to do the first page.
Okay, whatever you want.
This thing on? A mother, a grandma, a friend. Joan Dixon, my Uma, was many things. But most of all, she was accepting. When I came out as trans, it was no big deal. I was now a granddaughter, and that was that. I remember playing in the yard as she sat there and watched me. She was just there for me, like she always was. The things she did to us, the presents, the kindness, all of it. I miss it. And I only knew her for a fraction of a wonderful life. To think such a kind woman did even more than I saw makes me happy. Because that means even more people had this amazing woman in their lives.
Well, Talia, you're a tough act to follow, and I knew I'd be following you. Right? You're a tough act to follow. Yeah, this is one to watch out. You'll be on stage. Don't you think? With your acting skills?
A poet and an actor.
Yep. So anyways, what can we say about Joan? We're all going to miss her. She was a wonderful friend and had for 58, well, how many years? Almost 50 years. And we had our ups and downs, but more ups and downs. And she was always there, and I was here for her. And then, you know that you're always welcome. Call, come see, come spend time with us. Okay? Yeah. Anyways, God rest her soul. We had so much fun together, different real antics. We had our little golf group, which it was more about having fun and bitching and moaning about what was going on in our households or whatever than golf. We never kept score because
that wasn't the point of it for us. We didn't have handicaps because we were already handicapped. So, anyways, we did have a wonderful time doing our golf, and then when Joan couldn't golf, then we were down to 3, and we lost Ruby, Al's wife, and then it was Flo and myself, and then Flo moved away, so I'm the last one standing in the golf group. But, and the book that you're talking about that your mom wrote, I mean, that was hilarious because she got all these, they were huge albums that she put together of her history, of her, where she came from. And I remember with one of her friends, who was from UBC, we came over and our task was to put these together that day. And we had to do, I think there were about 14 of them or something. It was a huge number. And we had to put them together and then get them over to North Vancouver to get them mailed. And they had to go out that day. We got over there, it was snowing. Yes, it was, we barely made it to the shipping house that it was going to get them shipped off to Australia. And then it took us like hours to get back in the snow, right? It was a horrible day.
They arrived.
But they arrived. And that was so important to your mom. I mean, whatever she put her heart into, she did it. And you know, we probably all know that she had a bit of a tremor, right? And then she would make those little tiny dioramas. And I don't know how she ever did, or try to she'd do a ship, make a ship, and then I'd say to her, so how is it going? And she'd say, well, she'd throw it, half the pieces got thrown out because she couldn't get them to, you know, where they were supposed to go in the model. She just said, whatever, that's what it was. And then one of the last things she did was she gave me a wooden puzzle that every time you tried to put a piece in, the puzzle moved.
Oh.
And so I don't think she finished that one. Then I offered it to Lynn, but Lynn didn't want it. But I did make it. But she had such a joy of just a wonderful spirit. She loved life. She loved her family dearly, and she just her life. She had all you have to do is walk around her garden, and see what she did with her, painting and her potting shed. And her garage is full of color and pictures, if anybody hasn't been in the garage yet. She was just a breath of fresh air everywhere she went, and we had a lot of good laughs and a lot of good times. And yes, we did get vibrators that day. Yeah.
Do you still have yours?
No.
Yeah, it took a lot of convincing and a lot of time to get that story out of her. I tell you, not easy. She did not enjoy explaining them.
So, and one of the things that kind of I missed because I couldn't go find all my albums, so I got a lot of pictures of Joan of the things that we did. But one of them was when she graduated from UBC, then she was part of the Women's Society, the UBC Women's Society. And she did a fashion show, and she dressed up in these period costumes. And Gary was her partner. Remember you dressed up? And I wish I'll have to send you the pictures. I thought you would find them in her album. You didn't find them.
I saw a solo one of her as the Queen of England with a white face, but I didn't think anyone would recognize her.
Oh, you should have put she had, I think, about 4 costume changes. And she came down the grand stairwell, and with Gary on her arm, I don't know what he was, he was colored. At the time when it was okay to do that, right? We thought it was. Anyway, like I said, so that was just one of the things that we participated in and had a great time. Just like I said, so many things that I could talk about, but the biggest thing is that I'm going to really miss her, and we all loved her very much. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ruby.
I appreciate it.
Well,
You wanted to sing a song?
I'm not gonna sing a song.
Oh, so that was a joke.
I didn't really prepare anything because I think what everybody said is already enough. But
Nice one.
I think for me, what meant the most is, no matter what happened in my life or our life, she was always open and accepting. Like coming from where I would come from, there was judgment, but there was never judgment with Joan, and she also was curious about me as a person, and saw me for who I was, and made an effort to get to know me, and because of that, we were great friends. So I'm definitely gonna miss that connection, but I'm also glad that the last couple of years were hard for her, and I think I'm glad she's in peace now.
Great. Thank you for everyone joining us virtually. We're going to sign off now, and I'd love for you guys to come. And Talia and Ted are going to plant an Uma tree. If you want to gather around, we'd love to have you there with us for that.
What sort of tree did you get? What sort of tree is it?
It's a hedge. Oh, beautiful. Oh, yes.
Whoever built
Oh, I forgot about the blues! Oh, man! Poor blues.
Everything he does is beautiful. Even my bathroom. Brandon came over and when the ridiculous came up to the bit of broke.
No, she's still got her same car. Yeah. Yeah, the RAV4?
Yeah.
Yep. Seriously? Seriously. She never bought me. Where is she parking? Oh, the full stuff? Oh, I don't know. Oh, oh, that's painted. The garage is painted inside. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you learned well.
Yeah.
Touch some dirt around it, or is that good? Okay, look at me. Tally. Picture of blue hair. Here we go. Oh, thank you. All right. And then close with a prayer that I found among stuff. I don't really know where it came from, but it's called the prayer of loving kindness. May I be peaceful. May I be happy. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be safe. May I be free. May I awaken to the light of my true nature. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be happy. May all beings be filled with loving kindness. May all beings be safe. May all beings be free. May all beings awaken to their true nature. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, we've got refreshments and appetizers and some wine.
We got food.
Got food, eh?